Hello and welcome to another video on the Moopa Troopa channel. It is Sunday morning, bright and early, and we are playing in a modern challenge with BW Ketramose. Very excited to take this deck out for a spin in a larger tournament. Been playing it in a couple leagues and been liking it so far. I was playing this deck before Ketramose got printed too, and I think that's definitely made it a lot better. If maybe a little less fun. You don't get to play Recruiter of the Guard, but I'm all about the competitive deck on this stream, on this channel. So that's what we're playing today, and hoping to play against Eldrazi as little as possible, and hoping to play against Boros quite a bit, and Boros has been putting up numbers, so hopefully going to get to do that. This deck, of course, works by playing Ketramose and exiling lots of cards from graveyards and the battlefield with Solitude Ephemerate. You also have Felia, Flickerwisp, and Relic of Progenitus. And then you also have Felia plus Overlord to get you insane amounts of value and basically kill everything your opponent does and take over the game. It's a pretty sweet deck. And we'll go over the sideboarding as we get to it. As you can see, a lot of land destruction. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. All of that really helps me grow the channel, and that's what I'm looking to do here, so I can make more Magic the Gathering videos. Let's get into the match. Alright, on the draw with a 1-lander, 5 1-drops, but not a lot of synergy between them. Maybe if I know Thoughtseize is going to be incredible here, and Relic, it's possible to keep it, but I think on the draw in the blind, it is a mulligan, and this is much better. We can send back, I think, just the Witch Enchanter. Better to keep the Boggart Trawler when we have Ketramose out, so that we can turn that thing online and get it cranking forward. Opponent looks like they're going to Thoughtseize me. Looks like we're playing up against the mirror, too. Of course, not good to be on a mulligan, but we do have a lot of gas in the tank, so let's see what they take. They go for the Overlord. That's fine, I suppose. I'll play out the Arid Mesa. Gonna go get a Surveil land here. And let's see what they do. They play their own Overlord. Sure. Get back, yikes, a Flickerwisp. So next turn they're going to be able to get that Overlord flipped. And this might be a quick go to game 2. Let's put the second Ketramose definitely into the yard. And see if we can find anything. We can't. Just more lands. So we'll pass it back. Maybe they don't have a third land, but nope. Right on schedule, makes sense. And, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play out this Felia. Opponent's gonna be able to get a lot of value, hopefully no Solitude over there, but they're gonna have a lot of looks at it too, and there is Solitude, so they're probably gonna get that back. Just have constant removal up for my stuff, but let's play out Felia anyway. Untap, draw. Is there anything we can really do here? No, not really. I guess we can attack, chump attack to draw a card. And that's probably worth it. Kind of have to find, like, Solitude instantly. Let's do that. We'll blink out Ketramose. Draw a card. Don't find Solitude, but yeah, I kind of think I had to just find Solitude right here, or it's kind of game over. And with the Solitude in their hand, and they're attacking with this Overlord now, I think that is just going to be game over. Let's go to game number 2, and hopefully not get as flooded, maybe not get Thoughtseized on turn 1. But we'll see. So I like I think I like the Surgical just to get rid of important cards. They mill themselves a lot too. And I like the March as another answer to Ketramose. And I don't think I like Pending just because I don't have a third color in my deck. Don't like any of this stuff. Seems a little bit too slow. I could board in one Vindicate in case they are on Elishnorn. But I do have Thoughtseize for that too. Let's go with these three and board out. I mean, Witch Enchanter obviously isn't great. Emperor of Bones is a really good standalone threat. And it's pretty grindy, so let's keep that. I think we could go down a Push and a Thoughtseize. Let's do that. I think that's how I boarded last time. And maybe I want to bring in just one Vindicate. But it's so bad against everything other than Elishnorn. I think this is what we're going to do. Alright, game number 2 on the play with a really nice draw here. Let's go ahead and snap keep that one. You can start off with a Marsh Flats, and then we'll go ahead and fetch a Surveil land, and then hopefully get the combo going, you know, Felia Overlord into a Ketramose if we can find a land. And if not, then guess we'll just keep getting value and drawing spells. Opponent leads on just Surveil land, which at least means no turn 1 Thoughtseize, so that's good. Let's get our own Surveil land. Find a Solitude, which it's not a land, and we would like to find a land, but I think Solitude will do the trick here. If they go Overlord, we have our own. I would have preferred for them to tap out, but I'm still going to play the Felia. I think it's kind of just a must. And I mean, we're going to do this regardless, so let's just do it now in case they do have, like, removal. Say yes. Get back. Second Felia or Emperor of Bones? I think the Felia, and it's just so I can pitch it to Solitude while keeping all this other great stuff in my hand. And they do have the Ray of Enfeeblement. And since I drew the second Felia, they're just going to get a second Surveil land here, so I can kind of just take it slow. Okay, so they are on the red splash, and that's just for Prismatic Ending, I think. I mean, I guess we'll see, but that's what I've seen so far, at least. Hopefully not a ton of rays either. See if they just slam a Ketramose here. No, they go for a Vindicate on my Overlord, which is a 2-for-1 that I suppose I will take. Now I find Flicker Wisp, so let's just go for Overlord. Get back. What do we want now? Second Ketramose? Or Emperor of Bones? I think Emperor of Bones. And next turn we can flicker our own Overlord with the Flicker Wisp, and they have no way to stop that one, so hopefully we can just get more value than them and win that way. They play an Emperor of Bones. Sure. So I do think we have to Solitude this now, just because otherwise we're holding it up forever. Although we will always have it in response, and we can also do it in response to a fetch land. If we do it on my turn, then there is Ketramose too. Plus I'm not ephemerating it, so yeah, I guess this is fine. Do they know I have Solitude? They don't, because I surveilled it to the top. So they could just go for it here. And if they do, I guess I'm alright with that. I don't know, maybe it's best to just do it now so that, like, there's no shot that anything ever comes of it. Just so I don't have to worry about this for the future. But it kind of seems like they don't have a ton going on. So if I can continue to, like, apply pressure while I do this, that'd be pretty cool. Or if they're just, like, forever holding up mana. Okay. So they've gone to combat now. And just gonna go to my turn. Find Surgical Extraction. I don't hate that one. So do I want to Flicker Wisp or do I want to Ketramose? I feel like I'm more interested in finding land. But there's also nothing that I want to Surgical from them right now. I could also just pass and go for Felia. Hold up Solitude Ephemerate. And also the Surgical. I think let's just play out Ketramose and just see what they do. So they're fetching. So do I want a Solitude now? I think yes, because I'm going to get to draw a card off of it. And we'll just get rid of Felia now. So exile that. We'll draw a card. Unless they're ephemerating it. Right. I mean, that does stop them from... Okay, well, I can't stop that, so I guess we'll let it happen, but I will get to draw a card from it. Now they can Surveil, or I guess fetch a Godless Shrine too. They get it tapped, so I guess they're out of Surveil lands. So this happens. Now they're going to be able to Emperor of Bones my Solitude, and I'm probably just going to Surgical it. Just to stop them from killing my Ketramose. Okay. And then next turn just Relic, start drawing some cards. Maybe play my own Emperor. Hopefully find another Solitude. Find just a way to kill this Emperor. Really. Although, I guess Relic does do a pretty nice job of just, like, stopping it from working. But for now, we'll do that. Just gonna exile this one. Okay. That fizzles. They can get in for 2. And they just pass. Now I find Fatal Push. Well, let's start with the Relic. Choose them. See if we can't find another land here. Find a Thoughtseize. Well, let's just go for the push and draw a couple cards with this Relic and attack with Ketramose. Is it exile itself as the cost? Oh, it does, so it's 3 cards. Okay, well now I'm going to get to draw 2, because they're going to exile my Ketramose, and that's going to trigger it. So I'll draw 2, 3 still. Only now I don't have a Ketramose in play. And somehow no land, but there is a Solitude there, so we're chillin'. Overlord continues the tick down. And they play Felia, that's fine. Okay, they're going to combat. I mean, we'll just take it so that we can Solitude on our turn to draw a card, or we're like ahead enough that let's just kill it now. Stop them from dealing damage to me, because it kind of feels like the only way I can lose. And then they play a Flicker Wisp, exiling their own Shadowy Backstreet to Surveil. They put a Plains into the yard. Let's just go for that. We're gonna Thoughtseize them, go down to 7, but I'm not too worried about dying here. Their last card's a Swamp. Now we'll play Flicker Wisp out, flicker our own Overlord, and get back a Solitude. Can pitch if we really need to, but I'm also happy to just take this trade. Opponent is pendinging me. Yeah. We're so far ahead. We can get rid of the Ketramose. Alright. So, what did I like there? What did I not like? I think I liked the way I sideboarded. So, let's run it back. Still learning how to play this deck, but feels like it's going pretty well so far. Let me just raise my mic a little bit. Get it right to that -20 level. My audio people know what's up. On the draw for game number 3, I imagine, although I would also think that this is like a matchup where being on the draw doesn't matter that much, although I guess I don't want to get Thoughtseized on turn 1. Looks like they're on a mulligan to just 6, but we have Thoughtseize Surgical on the draw. Let's see if they surveil anything good into the yard for us to snag. They do not. And let's see if we can get anything now. It's Flicker Wisp, Felia, and they put a card on top. So let's just take, I guess, Flicker Wisp. Felia can just get pushed. And do I want to... Well, we know they're not top decking another Flicker Wisp, because that's such a bad draw, so we definitely don't want to Surgical that. There's a Godless Shrine. Felia gonna be coming down in a second here. I find a Flicker Wisp, which is not great, but suppose we'll take it for now. And well, let's just push that now. Pass. Felia gone. Sacred Foundry out. Hopefully no Ketramose. Looks like it is Ketramose. Okay. So we need to find one of our many, many answers to it, but do need to find it. Arid Mesa is not an answer to Ketramose. Fatal Push, also not an answer to Ketramose. Is there really anything we can do? If we play out Flicker Wisp, they just get to Prismatic Ending it. So I guess we'll just play a Boggart Bog tapped and pass. I don't know, it just feels real bad to get pendinged. There's the relic, and that's probably it, right? Maybe I can't keep this hand, but I had the Thoughtseize. They just had it better. Alright, you draw a card and lose a life. Yeah, exile all cards from all graveyards. Draw a card and lose a life. Seems good. So they draw 2 cards there, wow. And they're just passing. But that thing is turned on now. And yeah, I'm like incredibly dead. We gotta find Solitude like right now. Do they have Emperor of Bones? Overlord. Well, that's just as good. And they find Solitude. They get it back. Okay. I draw. I mean, I kind of just have to go Witch Enchanter. Blow that thing up. Pass. Maybe I should save Thoughtseize for turn 2 after they top. Okay. I mean, I'll get to hit their overlords here when they go to target that. Which is, I guess, alright, but probably not good enough. They're still going to get to draw a card off of every single thing that happens ever. And then we'll hit that. They boarded out 2 Ketramose, and they drew it. Boarded out 3 push, but they kept in the Bowmasters. 3 Ray of Enfeeblement. Their hand is Purge. Oh, I guess they have a 3rd Ketramose. Okay. They boarded out 1 Ketramose. But that does mean, even if I find an answer, they still have another Ketramose in hand. So, pretty dead here. Never give up, never back down. Never what? I'll see if they Solitude me now to draw more cards. Probably not, though. They don't have to do anything. Alright. I do find Solitude. But I think it's just too little too late. I mean, I guess I get to kill 1 Ketramose. Maybe it's not over yet. Let's just pitch that. So, do that. I have to find yet another answer. And I guess we'll get in for 2. They choose not to block. Okay. And now I'll just push that bad boy and surveil, and I need to find Overlord, or like, I don't know, I need to find some really good stuff really fast. It's that second Ketramose that's really brutal, because they can have all the removal in the world, and I could work through that, but it's that I have to find essentially just Ray of Enfeeblement. There it is. They kept a card on top, though. Are they gonna... Okay, they're casting Ketramose, playing Concealed Courtyard. And where did that last card come from? I mean, we gotta do this. And just attack with everything. Because we know 3 of the cards in their hand, but I thought we knew 4. Well, I guess it was a Bowmasters. Sure, and then they just take. And then they have Solitude, and now I need to find Overlord or Ketramose. I mean, well, no, Ketramose doesn't even do enough here. Neither does Marsh Flats, but I guess we'll play it, because we can Surveil and maybe find Solitude? Yeah, Solitude could do it. They're going to get to flash in their own Solitude now, though. I mean, we did an alright job here. We're going to go down to 1. We have 1 Surveil to find a Solitude. They have 2 cards that don't really do anything in hand now. But who knows what they're going to draw. So we'll fetch. And get a Shadowy Backstreet. Thoughtseize, not going to do it. Overlord of the Baelmerk. I don't think this does it. Because we get Flicker Wisp, flicker our own Overlord, but then even if we get Solitude, we still die because we don't have something to pitch to it. We get Ketramose, they just purge it. Yeah, GG's, man. Not a lot we could do there. Played to the outs, almost got there, so always play to your outs. But starting off 0-1 in the challenge, we'll hopefully get there in the next few. 0-1 in this modern challenge now, but looking to make the comeback of the year on the play for round number 2 with a very, very good hand. So let's just go ahead and snap off that keep button. Gonna go try and fetch a Surveil land, unless my opponent does something I really need to answer, such as like a Ragavan. Honestly, not a lot else. We do have Felia into Overlord on turn 3, which should be pretty nice. And we also have a Ketramose on turn 4, or maybe 3, depends how exactly we want to do this, but for now, up against Eldrazi, I think I'm going to start by just fetching Shadowy Backstreet, surveilling Ketramose number 2 into the yard, and drawing, find an Ephemerate, which is solid. Hopefully opponent doesn't have too much ramp here. It's just a forest and a talisman, which is still pretty nice. Let's go ahead and run out Felia. Then we can... well, we'll go ahead and Overlord first, see what we can get back, and then we'll happily attack with this Felia and blink our own Overlord. We're going to get back a second Ketramose, which could be useful at some point if we need to pitch it to a Solitude, or if they exile our first one with like a Kozilek's Command or something. Now we'll go ahead and run out Godless Shrine and just pass the turn. Gonna pay the life because it doesn't really matter if we don't have perfect 20, and then we find a Witch Enchanter, so we'll get that back and pass the turn. Can blow up that Talisman. I guess it depends on what opponent does here. Could also blow up something that they get with a Karn. They go for Utopia Sprawl on their forest. Okay. We find another Witch Enchanter, which is pretty good. So what we can do is we can play out a Witch Enchanter pre-combat, and then we can blink it with Felia and blow up both this Talisman and this Utopia Sprawl. And they're not on the mana that can cast Kozilek's Command, which is pretty nice for us. Winning game 1 against Eldrazi would also be huge, given how hard this matchup can be. It was what I said I didn't want to play against, so... Let's see, it looks like they have another Kozilek's return, which is fine. We're still hitting them for 8. We get to get back Witch Enchanter here. And fortunately 1 point short of killing them next turn. But hopefully there's still something we can do. And they're just going to scoop it up, which is nice for me. Let's move on to the next. Don't want this Surgical, do want the Vindicate, the White Orchid Phantoms, and the Aven Interrupters. Got a lot of stuff to bring in against Eldrazi. We, of course, do not want Fatal Push, do not want Prismatic Ending, and I like to go down a couple Solitudes, and also an Emperor of Bones I think is pretty weak. Flicker Wisp can be pretty good. It blinks Ugin's Labyrinth, it blinks a forest that's been Utopia Sprawled. Ephemerate is just okay. I think we can trim 1 Ephemerate, especially if we're trimming 2 Solitudes. It can be good with, like, White Orchid Phantom, Aven Interrupter, but overall, you don't want to draw too many of them. Better to just draw interaction that works against them. On the draw with a 1-lander, I don't think we can keep, even though it's a solid 1-lander. And this is a bit better, actually quite a bit better. I think we'll pitch the Solitude and just hope that we can interact with them with our first 3 cards. Alright, so they exile 3 creatures. We will hold on to that Boggart Trawler. It does add a nice clock. We will go down to 15, but shouldn't matter too much in this matchup. Presumably they found a green land, but I guess we can't be sure. Let's take the Kozilek's Command. I mean, even if they did find a green land, that's still just the best card in their hand, so we'll take it. They did put a card on top, so it's got to be a green land, yeah. It is indeed. We'll see what they end up doing with it. Malevolent Rumble. Finding another green land, a Talisman, Kozilek's Command, which is going to go to the graveyard. And Karn. We'll see what they play, or at least what they take. It is going to be kind of hard to deal with this Writhing Chrysalis regardless, though. Don't have a ton of ways to interact with their mana, and they're having a pretty fast start. Despite the Thoughtseize, I still don't think we can take the Malevolent Rumble over the K command there. They end up taking Talisman. That's interesting. So let's draw for the turn. We find an Overlord, which is also interesting. Do we just want to run that out now, or do we want to blow up the temple? I think let's blow up the temple because it stops them from ramping as fast. We'll just get a Plains. Then the turn after, we can maybe Aven Interrupter a Talisman. For now, let's do that, though. They get a Forest. And we'll see what they do this turn. I guess even if I find a way to blow up the Ugin's Labyrinth, they would be able to play something real big next turn. Okay, they go for the Talisman, however. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. with an untapped land they can do something, but I think I should just bank on them not having that for a turn and just play out an Overlord here. I feel like they may have made a mistake. Yeah, we'll get back an Emperor of Bones. Play a Shadowy Backstreet. Relic can go into the yard. Don't want that one. And we'll just get in for 2 and pass the turn. Oh, I guess they have 1 unknown in hand, which could be a basic and could... Or just an untapped land. Is it Kozilek's Command? Man. The 3rd Kozilek's Command, huh? Sure. So now they're going to get to Devour me. And... their last card is Writhing Chrysalis. We really need to find, like, a Solitude now, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next turn they could World Breaker. So, I mean, I guess we're just going to have to let our life total get kind of low. We can chump block with the White Orchid Phantom, blow up the Ugin's Lab to stop them from having lethal on me super fast, and honestly, I maybe should just board in, or keep in the Solitudes, but for now, let's get this Overlord. I guess we can do some blocking too if we need to. They cast the Chrysalis, that's fine, and they attack for 6. I think we just take it though. And they play a Bojuka Bog. That's also fine. So we're looking for Ketramose. We're looking for Solitude. Or both. Well, Flicker Wisp isn't the worst either. I guess let's just flicker the Overlord. We'll get rid of Karn because it takes a card type out of their graveyard. And pass the turn. And again, just need to find some good stuff here. There's a Ketramose, so we'll take that. See what we can trade with. I mean, that's fine. It's gonna be kind of tricky to get in anyway, so let's just go like this and take this trade. Okay. We find a White Orchid Phantom. We just want to play Ketramose here, though. And exile the Devourer. Draw a card. Find a Swamp. Swamp is good here. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4 card types. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 mana. So I think let's just pass and hope to fade Emrakul the Promised End for 1 turn. Alright. Let's Vindicate that. And that's a mighty good draw. Now we can... If they have Kozilek's Command, it doesn't matter. Let's just skip it. I don't know, maybe there's something they could have that exiles something and kills me. I really don't want to find out. So let's just attack with everything. Okay, so they're stopping me from gaining life. Yeah, but I don't have to lose life either, so that's fine. Again, we'll just hold up the Aven Interrupter. They have 5 card types, and they find, is this Devourer or World Breaker? Sire of 7 Deaths. Okay, we'll interrupt that one. And they scoop it up. I don't think they were quite dead yet, but maybe we would find a way. Either way, winning match 2 against Eldrazi. Very good, especially for this deck, where I think this is probably the worst matchup, other than our last opponent, who was on our deck but drew better than us, which is, I guess, also a pretty bad matchup. But more to come. Let's get the run going. Keep up the wins. On the draw for match number 3, 1-1, currently with a pretty nice hand. Let's go ahead and keep it. See what we're up against. Have a Thoughtseize for turn 1. Also have a Relic if Thoughtseize turns out to not be great. Do I want to Thoughtseize? Playing against Eldrazi again. Do I want to turn 1 Thoughtseize them? Or do I want to turn 1 Relic them? Well, I think probably Thoughtseize them. Just start off quick and aggressive, and then we'll see if we can turbo out a Ketramose. Yeah, even with the shadowy backstreet draw, I am just going to... Oh, I don't know, I might play that on turn 2 along with the Relic. But let's take Sowing Mycospawn. The Devourer is pretty nice, but other than that, we kind of have a lot of answers to everything. I assume they put Emrakul under there. Yep, that makes sense. And they play a Talisman, so they do have Devourer next turn, but we have answers to that. There's a Witch Enchanter. Well, that will allow me to go Ketramose into, or Felia into Ketramose next turn. So let's do that. They have those 2 cards in hand. We'll see if they decide that they really want to cast a 7-mana 6/6. Looks like no is the answer to that. So we'll do this, and we'll go ahead and I guess just run out that and flicker this with our Felia just to start getting some more pressure on. Is, I think, going to be the right thing to do. We also get to draw a card. They do get to kill it with the Devourer, but we find another Ketramose. Nice. And they find another land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 card type in yard, hoping to not see Kozilek's Command is kind of the big one. There's Devourer, getting rid of Ketramose most likely. Yep, that's fine. All their known cards are gone. My turn now, though. And I find that, which is not bad. It'll allow me to Relic here. But let's start with solituding a Witch Enchanter, exiling their Devourer, drawing a card, find Overlord, also pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and play out the Relic, and make them do that. Draw another card. And this could be pretty nice. Let's blink out our Ketramose, draw yet another card, pass the turn. Next turn we can Flicker Wisp away their Ugin's Labyrinth so that Emrakul is gone, or we can blink the Utopia Sprawl. Really just hoping that they don't have... Well, that's fine, I think, right? The issue is we have to choose if we want to kill Karn or if we want to blow up Ensnaring Bridge. And we don't have a lot of options. Let's start by playing Overlord. I'm always confused by this Beachbone Verge. The black mana is on the wrong side. We find Emperor of Bones. Oh, actually what we can do is... Well, we say yes to this. We get back the Emperor, because that'll allow us to kill next turn. Then we'll go for... We can Flicker Wisp their Ensnaring Bridge, and then blink our Flicker Wisp, kill Karn, then our Flicker Wisp comes back, and we blink the Witch Enchanter. So, Flicker Ensnaring Bridge away, draw another card, wow, just drawing an insane number of cards, attack Karn, attack them, Flicker Wisp, draw another card, find another relic. Now we'll draw yet another card with this relic. So, doing a pretty good job of everything here. And then we'll go to end step. All of this stuff will trigger. Ensnaring Bridge comes back. Overlord comes back. Flicker our Witch Enchanter, and should have lethal next turn with this Emperor of Bones, so hopefully they don't find anything. And they find a Talisman, and that's it. So we'll blow up their Ensnaring Bridge. There's another Ketramose, but we don't need that one here. Let's just go for Emperor of Bones, tapping the wrong side over and over again with these Beachbone Verges, but overall they've been, I think, better than the Concealed Courtyard, so I'm happy to have them in the deck. And I didn't actually do the math, but I assume this is lethal. Let's adapt. Do they have Kozilek's Command? Do they have Dismember? Kozilek's Return. Okay. That's fine. We still draw a card. And get in with these two. Blink out this guy. Draw a card. Now we'll just crack this, get rid of all their stuff, find more stuff on my end, bring back Overlord looking for a Solitude, don't find it, do find Emperor of Bones for some hasty damage next turn. Now we'll discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your go. Really grinding out Eldrazi. Feels nice. Alright, let's go to game number 2 and just board in 9 cards. So I've been boarding out Prismatic Ending, boarding out Fatal Push, and I honestly think just boarding out Ephemerate is better than boarding out Solitudes, and I can board out one Solitude. But, I don't know, I've been wanting ways to kill their creatures, although I guess I can just outgrind their smaller creatures. I think it's more about keeping them off the really big stuff, though. I don't know, Ketramose has helped this deck immensely in this matchup. It makes you less weak to Kozilek's return. You really just have to keep them off mana and stop them from like completely locking you out with land destruction and whatnot. Also, just freeing up space by getting rid of the Recruiter of the Guards kind of just makes you better against everything, because you no longer... you get to run Thoughtseize. Alright. This hand is certainly something. Is it keepable, though? Let's see what they do. If they go down to 6, I might keep this. Even if they don't, I might keep this. I think I'm going to keep it. It's not great, but it could definitely get the job done against a slower hand, because we can go turn 1 Backstreet, turn 2 second Backstreet, I guess, and then we can flicker Witch Enchanter. They put no card on top, which is also pretty good for us. They start with Eldrazi Temple, which isn't the best, but maybe we can find... I think I am keeping a Solitude here. It's going to be pretty good with this Ketramose. I was going to say maybe we can find a White Orchid Phantom, but it doesn't look like that's happening right now. Opponent is drawing a card with Kozilek's Command. Oh boy, yeah, I'm super happy with that. You got it. And they find a land. So is this Rumble? Yes, it is. I assume they're grabbing more lands. They grab another Eldrazi Temple. So that's 6 mana next turn, which is... I mean, that's really what you want to avoid. But let's play out an Arid Mesa. Pass the turnover, see what they do, see if they have the Myco spawn. It's also 8 mana Ulamog, or Emrakul. Alright, let's do this. Get another Shadowy Backstreet. Draw. Flicker Wisp can go away. And... okay, I think... we just go for Flicker Wisp your spawn? I mean, do they have 3rd Kozilek's Command? Maybe that's why they used that first one to just draw a card. Seems like it. Yeah. Dang it. Should have held up Aven Interrupter. Definitely could have sniffed that one out. They're not doing anything else this turn. But we'll see. Maybe they find nothing. They're exiling that and making spawns, so not even drawing cards, which means maybe they just have, like, Emrakul. They just really want to Emrakul me. There's Utopia Sprawl, sure. Smells like Emrakul. No, it's a Sowing Myco spawn, sure. I mean, that's fine. They get Ugin's Labyrinth. Ugin's Labyrinth imprints Devourer. And they still have 6 mana. And they're using it to cast a Karn. And the Karn is the real scary thing here. What are they getting with it? Liquimetal Coating. And they can cast Liquimetal Coating. I see. Alright, so we have been had here. And there's really not a ton we can do about it. They're going to start blowing up our lands. And we're going to die to that. So, yeah, we'll go to game 3. Definitely could have played better. Definitely could have sniffed out that they probably had another Kozilek's command when they cycled the first one and they're holding up all their mana. But sometimes I mess up. That's okay, just gotta slow it down. Go to game 3. Think I like the way I've sideboarded, so let's keep that up. Yeah. Alright, game number 3 on the play, which is nice, and we have a nice curve here. You can go Phantom into Interrupter, Interrupter, and then Bailmark something. Start on the back street. Surveil. Plains can stay, because I might want a Witch Enchanter hardcast at some point. Okay, start on Eldrazi Temple. Wonderful. So let's go ahead and get that out of there. Blow up the temple. A slow start is definitely what we need to see from them. They get a forest. And we'll pass. They play Cavern. That's fine. Let's see if they rumble here. Talisman. Sure. Okay. We find Relic. So, against Karn, we really need to interrupt. Well, I guess either way we just want to interrupt. Even if they do go Myco Spawn, which would be pretty annoying. Hedge Maze is great to see. And do I run out this interrupter? I think so. Just keep the pressure up. Although I guess it's possible they could have Kozilek's Return. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Oh well. We'll get in for 4. It doesn't feel like they have it, because they're taking 4 here. And we'll just exile that as soon as we possibly can. Can cycle this relic if we need to. They go for Kozilek's Return now, which is weird, but fine, I guess. And play an Ugin's Labyrinth. Ugh, am I getting Myco spawned here? No, I am not. Okay. Oh, they don't even have another or something to imprint. That's pretty good for me, I think. Alright, and that's a great draw. This is the turn that we ignore them. Although, maybe it's not. It's probably pretty likely they have Kozilek's Command, and we can always just wait. Get back Witch Enchanter. Yeah, let's just pass. Did we play land yet? Yes, we did. I don't want to let them K-command me. It looks like that's what they're going for here, so very glad I went for this play. Yep. Let's interrupt that. Works very well with X spells, means they can only cast that for 0, so even if they do kill the interrupter, they're still not going to be able to do a ton from that. And we have their graveyard under control, so Emrakul isn't a big concern. They're down to 3 cards in hand. They can pay 2 mana to draw a card. Looks like a Rumble is a Rumble. Graveyard is again out of control. They take a World Breaker here, sure. So that is there. Is certainly there. Alright, do we want to let them kill the Overlord, but we get a Flicker Wisp in play? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7. With that, I think we should just Witch Enchanter them. Blow up that Talisman. I guess they can draw a card with the Kozilek's command, but they have to cast it sorcery speed, yeah. So they can't even do that now. Maybe they don't know how that works, though. I'd like to find a Ketramose. Is this K return? It is. Okay. Well, they're down to 5 mana now. And let's go for a Relic. Pass the turn. They get to Surveil now. No, they don't get to Surveil. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 types in the yard. So we should really probably just pop the Relic now. Thoughtseize is great. Keeping them contained on mana, keeping their graveyard contained, is the name of the game here. They draw a card with the Kozilek's command, but they already played the Woodland. Alright, I find Arid Mesa, which really doesn't do anything. Be able to fetch something out of my hand. Ugh, they found Kozilek's command. Come on, man. Sure. Let's see what they do with the scries. Show game log. Two top, two bottom, and then they draw a card. So we take one. Take the World Breaker. Play Arid Mesa. I guess just fetch now. And we'll blink out our Overlord. And hopefully take over the game with it. It's kind of what we need to do. Hopefully they didn't top another World Breaker or I don't know, anything else good, really. There's Ketramose, but 2 relics are already gone. We don't have a ton of ways to exile things now, but it is a 3 mana 4/4 lifelink Menace Indestructible, which is pretty nice. Breeding Pool, they go down to 9. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So we can get Emrakul here, which would not be ideal. And we'd probably just die, huh? Though maybe we can race it with Ketramose. Is this Chrysalis? Karn, yes. Yes, you have a Karn. Now they go and get the ensnaring bridge, and we really just need to find... oh, they get Stone Brain. Okay. And they're going to Kozilek's Return. And the next turn get Ensnaring Bridge, but this gives me a turn to find something. They can take that. That's fine. Okay, naming Ketramose, I presume. I have to find a way to kill Karn or get another Witch-Blessed Meadow. Do I have one gone? There is one gone. They get rid of all my Ketramose, and I find Ophelia. We gotta go ahead and un-F6 now. And this does give us the resources to kill Karn, because we can flicker out one of their spawns, and then they can no longer block. So that's pretty good. Boggart Trawler also real good. So I'll get rid of that World Breaker over there and stop them from being able to Emrakul. So we'll go there, and this one at you, right? And they're gonna have to Kozilek's Return now. Man, they kind of saved me by Stone Braining me. I will say yes. Let's get back Felia, because we already have a Boggart Trawler. And they Kozilek's Return. That makes sense. But this is still going at Karn. And now we're going to get to exile their graveyard. That's also the third return, so they shouldn't have any left. I guess they could have some left, but we're hoping not. And we'll play this Boggart Trawler out. Go ahead and exile their yard. Get rid of a lot of juicy stuff in there. Make it impossible for them to cast an Emrakul, and probably just run away with this one. I have lethal next turn too, so yeah, land is game over. Beating Eldrazi twice in a row with Black-White. Maybe the matchup's not as bad as I think it is, or maybe something else is going on here. Either way, happy to do it, and let's keep winning matches. Open the draw for match number 4 with a keeper, but a weird one at that. We have some interaction. We have a Ketramose. We have a Solitude. Hoping to not play against a third Eldrazi, I guess. Well, with this hand, at least. If we did play against a third Eldrazi deck, though, we would hopefully beat it for a third time. Gonna keep this, though. Looks like we are not up against Eldrazi. We are up against Domain Zoo. We'll see if they turn one Ragavan me, or if they are holding up Stubborn Denial. That would be pretty annoying. Witch Enchanter is a nice way to kind of turn that off, but let's try and take a peek, see if we get stubbed here. Though I know a lot of lists are running Consign to Memory, this one instead. What do we want to take, though? Let's take that Leyline Binding and pass the turn over. Try and refrain ourselves from taking too much damage with our own lands, but right now they don't really have any threats, which is good for us, and they top-decked Scion of Draco. Well, that is a good one. Going to run out this Overlord, and yeah, I will get back a Ketramose. Need to get up to land 4, though, to be able to Witch Enchanter the Leyline into Solitude the Scion. But now they're going to get to Flage me, and then I'm just dead next turn. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes they top deck Scion after you Thoughtseize them on turn 1, and you know, it just happens. Is there anything I can find here to get me out of this? I don't think so. No, there really isn't. If I Witch Enchanter here, then I'm just dead to Tribal Flames. Oh well. They have it, they have it. I certainly can't do anything about that. Is that why somebody was running Momentum Breaker in the sideboard? I guess so. Um, I don't know, I guess they're also gonna have this Consign to counter my Solitude. Either way, this is just gonna be a hard game to win, and their deck is kind of built around the idea of countering mine. I still think it's possible to win, of course. Never gonna count myself out. I guess we can... I'm trying to think of a way we can not die here, but I don't know if there is one. It says trample too. I'm getting tribal flames. Sure. There's Thoughtseize, which still does just leave me dead on board. Yeah, okay. Game number 2. Hopefully better luck for myself this time. Hopefully not running into that same issue. All right, interesting stuff. What do we want here? I feel like Flicker Wisp isn't great. Pending seems just okay. Thoughtseize also seems just okay. Then again, none of this stuff seems great either. Witch Enchanter is kind of like my best card. I think I'll just like shave these two and bring in the Vindicates, because it's really like a few cards that get me really good. How many basics do they run? I'm gonna check real quick. Looks like most of the time they run 2 basics. Now, does that make it worth it for me to try and blow up their lands? I think so, just because it takes them off domain, if I can also get rid of the other stuff. And I think I can go down a Thoughtseize and like a Pending, I don't think is great for just a couple White Orchid Phantoms. And yeah, let's do that. On the play for game 2. Let's give it a shot. I will keep this. Let's see what they have for us. See if they have the ley line. They do not have the ley line, so that's good for me. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a shadowy backstreet. And then hopefully these White Orchid Phantoms keep them off domain pretty nicely. Have some removal. Vindicate is pretty mediocre now that they don't have something that I absolutely need to destroy, but I guess it's pretty good against their other stuff. Like, it just answers Leyline, but yeah, it answers any permanent, which is a good thing to have in a card, especially in a grindy matchup. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to blow up a land this turn, but I do have another turn to play, which makes that hurt a little less. Witch Enchanter, also a nice one. Let's pass the turn. They get Xander's Lounge, and now they'll play, what, Temple Garden to get full domain, or maybe nothing? Okay. Well, let's play out. Oh, always tapping this verge wrong. Let's play the White Orchid Phantom. They're fetching in response. Does this mean... What does this mean? I really don't know. This means Doorkeeper Thrall. Right. Okay, so let's get in. Get in for 3. We'll blink this out. And I guess hope they don't have Arena of Glory Flage. Otherwise, we can Vindicate the Thrall next turn. And then start blinking White Orchid Phantoms. Sacred Foundry is there. And Null Drifter. So they get to draw 2, and they have a 4/4. And... I find Overlord. What's the most important thing here, though? Do I want to Vindicate Thrall or Null Drifter? I mean, Flage is real scary. I do think I have to get that Thrall off the board, though. Wish I had a Fatal Push. That would be ideal. Hmm. Could also wait a turn. Very tricky stuff. This still triggers despite Thrall. Yeah, I think we have to blow this up. And then I guess we'll get in with these two, blink that out of the way. And I'm fine to sacrifice my relic to it if they attack. Unfortunately, I don't have a long-term answer to it, but maybe that'll just be okay. Okay, let's sack the relic. Take 4. Down to 12, so already pretty low, too. They play Arena of Glory and... Flage killing Felia. That's pretty good. Okay. Goodbye, Felia, and Leyline binding my Knight of the White Orchid. Okay. And there's the Fatal Push. A little bit late, isn't it? Alright, let's look for Solitude. Do not find Solitude, nor do I find anything else I can really do this turn. So just gonna have to pass the turn. Yeah, just kind of the worst case every single time for me. And they're hasting something. Scion of Draco, something that I cannot counter or do anything about. Sacrifice the meadow, and I guess I have to top deck untapped land, and then I have to find Solitude, and I have to hope they have nothing, and I'm guess just getting Tribal Flames. That's brutal. This seems like an impossible matchup, but what are you gonna do? GG's. Yeah, I think their deck is just targeted to beat mine, but we'll go on to the next one, and hopefully redeem ourselves and see how far we can take it in this challenge. Boom. I'm dead. Match number 5 on the play. Just got absolutely steamrolled by Domain. Seems like a bad matchup, but we keep pushing, we keep grinding. Let's get her done here. Got a nice hand. We have Relic and Ketramose. Now that's a combo. Draws quite a lot of cards. At first I thought it was only 2 when you end up sacrificing the Relic, but it's actually 3. So a lot of cards to be drawn here. I think let's just go ahead and fetch basic plains, get at least one land in the graveyard, play this out so we can go 1, 2, 3, start drawing a bunch of cards. Unfortunately, do not have much in the way of interaction against Eldrazi yet again. 2-0 against it so far, and this time it's Eldrazi Tron. Kind of scary stuff they got going on over there. Let's give it our best shot, though. Play out the swamp and pass the turn. Gonna run out Felia, and then we can get Godless Shrine, play Ketramose. That's an Eldrazi Temple, which I'm not too scared of right now. They're just gonna pass and probably crack that Expedition map. But let's run out Felia. I guess we'll see if they have removal or something too for it. Definitely possible. There's an Ephemerate, which doesn't do a whole lot, but now it's time to start drawing cards. Hopefully we can find our way to some Thoughtseizes. And yeah, let's run out Ketramose. They're gonna crack the map, sure. See what they get. Forest, okay. So they do have green in their deck, which is good to note. We can draw one, and then attack with this, flicker our Ketramose to draw another card and pass the turn. Witch Enchanter is not the worst, not great either. We'll see if we can get this Ketramose attacking this turn. Opponent plays a Myco spawn. And see what they get. Probably another Temple. Or maybe an Ugin's Labyrinth to try and play like a Karn or something. No, they get Urza's Mine, so possible Tron online next turn. We really gotta hope not. Thoughtseize is a great draw, though. Let's lead off with that. See what they have. All right. All is Dust, Chalice, Devourer. No Tron next turn, but they can cast either Devourer or All is Dust. So let's take the All is Dust. I'd rather them play the Devourer. I think. Yeah, I'd rather them play the Devourer. So take the All is Dust. Then we'll exile it from their yard, draw a card, find a Verge, and, well, we have Ephemerate to get around that thing. Let's crack this, which will draw us 3 more cards. Find an Emperor of Bones. Now we'll play the Verge. We'll push that thing. Gotta tap the right color of mana, though. And we'll get in for 7. Not gonna blink any of my stuff. Done. Okay. And your go. So yeah, they can cast that Devourer, but whatever they target will just Ephemerate. They play out the Temple, makes sense. And play the Devourer, sure. Let's Ephemerate Ketramose. And no thanks on the rebound. So I guess we'll Surveil. Witch Enchanter can go. Let's Emperor of Bones target their Myco spawn. Devour is gone. We'll draw a card here. Find an Arid Mesa. And we'll get in with these two. and just blink out their Devourer and pass the turn. Draw another card, find a Solitude. Maybe I should have played Witch Enchanter so I could ephemerate it on their turn. I think we're doing pretty well here, though. Unless they find Urza's Tower, but it looks like they don't. Mystic Forge. Can look at the top card, but it's nothing, and we win yet another game one against yet another Eldrazi deck, which feels crazy to me, but it keeps happening, so we rock and we roll. Let's get rid of Ephemerate, Fatal Push, of course, and a Solitude, and I think an Emperor of Bones is just kind of weak here. Honestly, maybe a couple, and then bring in the one Ephemerate. It can be pretty good with the White Orchid Phantoms. I like pending on the draw against, like, Expedition Map. Maybe they run Urza's Saga, too. But, yeah, I like this. Let's send it back and I guess beat Eldrazi a third time? I mean, we'll see. No promises. I mean, it's a keep for sure. Opponent exiles an Ugin the Spirit Dragon and Torpor Orbs me. That's fine. I have double Vindicate now, so that's pretty good. Gonna Surveil to try and find land. Let's see what they run out here. Talisman, sure. And second Torpor Orb. Well, I mean, at this point, let's just play a 3/2. Lifelinker. Go ahead and get a Shadowy Backstreets. Find Prismatic Ending. Yeah, we want that. And let's just go ahead and get rid of one of these now. So one Torpor Orb down. Get in for 3, pass the turn. They're up to 5 mana, which is quite a bit, but we can start vindicating lands. Something scary could happen here. Mystic Forge, sure. Draw a card. They still have a Torpor Orb, so the White Orchid Phantom doesn't do a whole lot. Let's see if we can find a land with this. We cannot. So we'll take another White Orchid Phantom for hopefully after we find the third land, can vindicate this Torpor Orb, or maybe we just have to start blowing up lands. That could be too slow. I guess we'll see what they draw. Talisman off the top. Mystic Forge kind of putting in work here. Is this K command? No, it's Karn. Yikes. See what they get with it, though. That's off the top as well. Chalice of the Void. Are they playing it on 1? No, they play an Expedition Map. Where did this Chalice of the Void come from? Oh, they didn't activate Karn yet. Are they going to? Okay. I find another Overlord, which is pretty bad here. I don't know, we just needed to hit the lands. And now there's a Boggart Trawler, so we will take that. Just a little slow, a little late. Let's attack Karn. And pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Eldrazi mana, 7 mana otherwise, and they're going to fetch another land with their Expedition Map. Sure. Urza's mine. Okay. Tron almost assembled. I guess all of their cards are colorless, so Mystic Forge is real good. It only lets you cast, though, so once it's lands on top, doesn't do a whole lot. And I think this is going to be it. Let's just go to game number 3. They're drawing too many cards. They have too many things for me to deal with. I just missed on lands couple too many times. And do I want Wrath of the Skies? I think I want the March over the Ephemerate, but I don't want Wrath still. All right, on the play for game number 3, let's get some Thoughtseize up in here. This doesn't have a Thoughtseize, but it is good enough, I believe. I don't have a turn 2 play, so we can go ahead and Surveil on 1. Try and find a Thoughtseize, and then just play out this Relic. Opponent is on a mull to 6, but let's just pass the turn. They start on Eldrazi Temple Expedition map. Alright, let's try and find something nice here. Witch Enchanter. I think that's a little slow here. Let's ship that one away. Find a Flicker Wisp. And just go Relic. And pass. Don't have any 0 drops to play, but I am going to crack this to draw a card. Second Eldrazi Temple is annoying. Let's go ahead and exile this. Draw a card. Find Ketramose. Okay. But this turn... Do we play around K command, or do we Vindicate them? I feel like Vindicate can wait a turn. Let's stop them from doing whatever they're planning to do. Yeah, there's the K command, so we get to nicely get that one out of here. Hopefully it messes up their draw a fair bit. Playing Urza's Mine. And Talisman. They're certainly getting up there in mana. They draw a card with the K command. That's an excellent one on our side, so let's just go for Witch Enchanter, and we'll blow up the Talisman. Next turn we can blow up a land with the Vindicate. This hopefully stops them from like playing a Devourer this turn. There's Urza's Tower. So yeah, now we have to blow that one up with the Vindicate. Otherwise they have way too much mana for me to deal with next turn. And they're playing K command now. Okay. Exile, make tokens. Well, let's get in. See what they do. Nothing. Okay. Go ahead and Shadowy Backstreet. Flicker Wisp, I don't want. And we'll just blow up the mine. And pass the turn. They have a lot of mana, though. That being said, Ketramose is coming down shortly, and it's gonna hopefully let me grind through what they're doing. There's a Talisman. And this is maybe Myco spawn, yeah. Okay. They're gonna have Tron next turn. What are they blowing up? They're blowing up the back street, sure. There's the power plant. I will draw. And yeah, let's just get rid of the Myco spawn now so we can draw a card. And we have this Overlord for next turn. Maybe we can find a land here. Would be nice. So that next turn we can go Overlord plus Flicker Wisp after getting that back. Ketramose can attack now. I guess I have a lot of cards in exile. I didn't really remember where they came from. I guess it was that relic I randomly popped earlier. But opponent has Tron now. So this is definitely getting scary. Tron, definitely not what I wanted to see. Yeah, they got tower, right? Yeah. Okay, well they only have one green, but... Okay, they're casting something Eldrazi, which, if it's another Myco spawn, is generally less scary than any of the other stuff they could be doing, but still not great for me. Alright, Shadowy Backstreet gone. Okay. No more Surveil lands in my deck, just good to note. They get another tower. Do they have, like, Ugin? Ugin, I don't think we can beat. It's a 7-drop. All is dust. Well, all is indeed dust. That one is not unbeatable, though. Let's start with a Thoughtseize, I think. Okay. Now we'll play Overlord. And say yes. We're going to get back Flicker Wisp. And hope our opponent top decks a lot of lands. They're already tapping mana. It's a Torpor Orb, which is honestly a pretty good one. And kind of have to do this, I think. Yeah, we need them to brick for quite a while now. Find a Godless Shrine, which isn't great. Pass the turn. We do have this Overlord going. So we're in a way ahead on board, but they are tapping a lot of mana over there. And Devourer of Destiny is a brutal one. Ketramose is a good one. And we'll pass. Need to find my pending. Need to find a relic would be great. Felia is good too. Alright, let's get in with Ketramose. They double block. That's fine. We'll gain 4 and pass the turn. They're tapping more mana, which we never want to see, but it's just an expedition map. Let's see what goods they have. Another Urza's Mine, that's fine. Okay. I mean, it could be done here. They're attacking, which I guess they couldn't block, so that makes sense. Let's play Felia. Try and draw some cards here. Haven Interrupter. Alright, well, we'll get in. We'll blink out the Torpor Orb in case we find something. We find a March. That is pretty darn good. So Torpor Orb will come back, and then we'll march it. cast 1, 2, 3, and now we only need to fade like one turn. Thoughtseize would have been nice on main phase. Let's see what they play. Talisman is fine. They attack, so hit me for 6 more. I find another Ketramose, but let's go for Thoughtseize. They have an Eldrazi Temple in hand, and we'll flicker that out. Draw a card. Deal my opponent 4 damage, and I don't think I can lose now, so very crazy that I was able to pull this game out, kind of out of nowhere, too. They find an Ugin's Labyrinth. That's not going to do it. And we win the match, beating Eldrazi, this time Eldrazi Tron, but Eldrazi for the 3rd time in a row with Black-White Ketramose, losing to round 1 was... What did we play against round 1? We played against the Mirror, right? Played against Mardu Ketramose, splashing for Prismatic Ending, which is probably the right way to build the deck. And we lost to, of course, Domain Zoo, where we thought seized them, and then they top-decked Scion of Draco with a ley line in play. That happens sometimes. We were pretty close. 3-2 right now. Let's keep pushing forward. I guess we want to play against Eldrazi because it's just an unlosable matchup. But yeah, that's match number 5. Match number 6 on the play. Let's get it done. Up against an opponent with an Overlord of the Baelmerk avatar. Could it be the Mirror? Probably. We'll see, I guess. Let's see. I think we want to keep 3 lands Fatal Push and Overlord Flicker Wisp. And put back the Emperor of Bones. Just make sure that we hit all our land drops. So let's go ahead and click the keep button here. And go ahead and play out this Marsh Flats and see what opponent gets up to. Be surprised. Maybe they're on like Breach or something. The avatar is just a complete way to throw me for a loop. This could still be this deck, though. Would be my 2nd mirror of the tournament. So far, undefeated against Eldrazi somehow, and defeated against everything else, although it's only been 2 non-Eldrazi matches, so not even a ton to talk about there, but let's go ahead and run out this Overlord. Then we can pass the turn. Maybe we find a Ketramose I would love, Solitude. Let's take an Emperor of Bones. Essentially unmulliganed with this Overlord so far. Opponent is, it looks like, on this deck. Let's see what they do with the top card. They have a main deck Aven Interrupter, which means maybe they're on the Recruiter of the Guard version still. Which I think we could handle. They go Godless Shrine, tapped or untapped, my friend. Tapped. Do they have a Thoughtseize? No Thoughtseize. So, I mean, no question, we're just going to run this out, right? One of the easiest plays of my life. Let's flicker our Overlord and go to end step. See if we can pick up. I mean, I guess I'd be okay to pick up another Witch Enchanter. I really want like a Solitude, though. And there's 2 Solitudes. Let's get one of them. And, not getting Solitude Ephemerated, which is also good. I guess that would have been my big worry there. Maybe they just didn't do it because they have a Ketramose and they want to go Ketramose Solitude Ephemerate? Or Ketramose Solitude? It's a Recruiter of the Guard, which I can't say I am too scared of right now. See what they get. Most likely just Solitude, right? And kill the Overlord. And then I will just Emperor of Bones. Bring back my own Solitude and kill that recruiter. Sure thing. Overlord is dead. Over dead. Right. And yeah, we really want to kill that while there's no chance they can ephemerate it. I'm fine to hold off on this Overlord for a turn. And I guess we'll take the Solitude from their graveyard. So we'll hit there. And I'm just going to do it. If they have another Solitude, then I guess they get me, but it's fine. Okay. They don't have the Solitude, so looks like we're going to get to do this. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to hit them for 6. They gain 1. And we have a 4/4 in play. Emperor of Bones, very strong card. Just as a mid-range threat. Game definitely could have played out differently if they had Solitude Ephemerate. But they did not. They have another recruiter. That's fine by me. Let's see what they get. Might just have to be another Solitude. Or, yeah. I find Ephemerate, which is something to pitch to my first Solitude. Can also do it to blink my Overlord with this Flicker Wisp. So really a lot of options here. Let's start with the Overlord, though. Mill over 4. Opponent flashes in a Solitude. Let's see what they target. Emperor of Bones. That one is fine. And do they have an Ephemerate? They do. So now we can really get them. So we're actually going to let that happen, and then we'll ephemerate our own Flicker Wisp, and then we'll Fatal Push their Recruiter. So do that. Do that. And I guess if they have another Ephemerate, this doesn't even come back to bite me, because I still have this Solitude in hand, and I'm about to draw 2 more cards. So let's say yes. Let's get back Ketramose. And let's go to end step and get back another Solitude. And pretty solidly win this game, I think. I guess we should have done this main phase. But yeah, let's do it now. See if they have another Ephemerate. And we should have waited on the to target too. But, yikes. Okay. This could actually be very bad if they have another Ephemerate, but they don't, so we're pretty firmly in the driver's seat. And it looks like they're not on Ketramose either, which I think is a mistake. This card just grinds so well, especially in the mirror, but also against like Boros and stuff. They can Fatal Push my Flicker Wisp, that's fine. And they can Boggart Trawler me too, honestly. I do not mind too much. A little bit, but not too much. Let's say no. We don't need to do that. Now we can Ketramose and get in with the Overlord. We'll get back Solitude. hit for 5, and let's go ahead and ephemerate this. Draw a card. Get back a Felia. See if we can find a land, maybe? Another Felia. Okay. And I'll just pass. I don't need to draw more cards now. And that's going to be it for game number 1. Good stuff. Let's bring in... Do I want Wrath of the Skies? I don't think so. Do I even want March against them? I don't think I want March either. I think I want Surgical, though, just to take away their Solitude ability. And I'm all right to go down a Pending and Emperor, or maybe just an Ephemerate. Yeah, let's do that. On the draw for game number 2. With a nice one, so let's keep it. We can go probably Thoughtseize on one because we don't want them to overlord me. Felly is a great draw too. Let's just get basic swamp so that we can save on our life total. Since we're gonna have to probably shock next turn, or bolt even. Alright, so we just take Overlord, right? Yeah, we'll just take Overlord. Pass the turn. Honestly, I might just pitch Felia to Solitude at this point. Because I don't need it, and they have a push. So it's not even doing a ton anyway. It's just going to run into that. And I think I'll just play Overlord this turn. They play out a Plains. I find Ketramose. Let's go Bale Merc. Now I'll pitch the one of the Ketramose. Ketramose. We'll get a Flicker Wisp back, but we won't be in love with that idea. And we'll pass the turn. I guess we want to just do this now. Yeah. We'll get rid of one of our Ketramose. Solitude that thing. And pass it over. Opponent has 4 cards in hand, 3 of which don't do a ton, but they definitely could have had some draws here that are good. I guess we'll see. Takanuma comes down. Are they just knighting? No, they found an Overlord. And they can get back Emperor, or... What did they get back? They got back Flicker Wisp? Solitude, sure. Sure thing. Okay, and I find that, which is very, very good here. Because now I'm just going to kind of get to go crazy without even having to use my stuff. I can just Flicker Wisp this Overlord. Opponent has Solitude, Phantom, Fatal Push. Plus 1 unknown. Alright, is he considering surgicaling my planes? Guess not. Do I have double black? I do. Let's get the Godless Shrine. I think it's okay to take a bit of damage here. Probably going to get some life gained back pretty soon anyway. Yeah, run out this Flicker Wisp. Hopefully that last card isn't Ephemerate, but I think even then we could beat it. Alright. So, gonna target my own Overlord, believe it or not. At some point, I can flicker this Flicker Wisp, and then maybe flip this Witch Blessed Meadow, but right now I really need it as a land, so not yet. Certainly not yet. They have like 1 mana destroy an enchantment? I know that's a card. Alright. So, go to my end step. Overlord. Say yes. Let's get back a Solitude. We can pitch this Felia. I don't mind that at all. And next turn we can just get infinite value with this Ketramose. If we draw like a land, and if not, we'll just start swinging out. I don't know. They have to do quite a lot to be able to do anything, really. I guess Recruiter. Okay. I was going to say Flicker Wisp would be a place to start, but Recruiter not as good. They get second Solitude. So 2 Solitude, 1 Phantom in hand. Looks like this is going to kill my Bailmerk. And they pitched a White Orchid Phantom. They do have 1 push in hand, though. So if the last card isn't a white one, then it's a beatable one. But, I don't know, this Ketramose is also just going to make things very difficult for them, I think. Even if they do find a way to kill it this turn, we're just about to get so much value, especially if we draw land. We draw Thoughtseize. Suppose we want to do that. See what they do. Evokes a Solitude in response. Wow. Okay. That's fine with me. I'll take that Fatal Push. This Felia now does something. And that's basically going to give me free reign to slam a Ketramose on an empty board. Alright, Thoughtseize you. Let's take that and pass the turn. See if they attack, in which case we could get some funny stuff going with this Felia. Flash it in as a blocker as well. Land from them is a welcome sight. Pretty happy to just, like, get rid of the graveyards with a relic, too. Just to make sure, even if they do get a Flicker Wisp, at least they're not getting back Solitudes. Let's see if they attack with this Recruiter, though. Alright. They're going to combat. You getting in? Gotta clock me. Let's see if this warrants a concession. Right, we'll blink out our own Ketramose. Draw a card. Find an Emperor of Bones. Okay. They need Flicker Wisp right now. Boggart Trawler can go. All right, your turn, sir. White Orchid Phantom, I don't think is going to do it for them. And I don't know, this is definitely a reason why you should be playing Ketramose. Play out the relic. Target you. Draw 1. Draw 3. Yeah, that's it. 4 and 2. Ketramose for the win. On the draw, match number 7. Gonna mulligan this hand and look for something a little better. Which this is. We'll put back, I guess, Ophelia. And lead with a Thoughtseize, playing up against Eldrazi again. This time, Double Devour in their hand to start. Let's see how they're going to lead off the rest of this match. 3 cards exiled. 3 more cards exiled. So, the top card is stacked, and they start with an Ugin's Labyrinth into a Talisman. Let's hope that, I guess they just have a weak hand outside of this. Although, I feel like that's going to be kind of hard for them to do. Let's fetch, shock, and Thoughtseize. And yikes. Kozilek's Command and Writhing Chrysalis. They probably kept a land on top too. Let's take the K command and pass the turn. I guess hope to slowly grind through all the stuff they've got going on. I don't know, I do have this Fatal Push for the Writhing Chrysalis. I guess they can't even cast it now, can they? And they put all his dust away. Okay, so let's draw a card. Go ahead and run out Marsh Flats. And I think we just want Ophelia here. And then hopefully we can find Flicker Wisp, Overlord, Ketramose, anything like that, really. And get rid of their exile zone. Yeah, pass the turn. And they drew the Ugin's Labyrinth. So we know the last couple cards. We're hoping to avoid castable spells, I guess? I don't know. Let's get planes. Let's run out Felia. We're hoping they didn't draw Kozilek's Command. Which it doesn't look like they did. We'll run out Emperor of Bones. Just as another beat stick. And I suppose blink it with the Felia so that we get an extra counter on it. Next turn we will have 7 power in play, which is a fair bit. So if they whiff a couple more turns, we can just kill them. But definitely looking to find some more value. Let's just go ahead and get the 7th card exiled. I guess we should have taken away their Kozilek's Command. We weren't doing anything with it. Ever. And yeah, we'll pass the turn. Bring back the Emperor. See what they draw. Hopefully nothing good. That looks like something good. It's a Karn. See what they get with it, though. Artifact from outside the game is revealed. And it's engineered explosives. Right, okay. Well, right now they can only do that for one color anyway. But let's go ahead and get Shadowy Backstreets. We'll put that... I mean, let's put it into the yard, and then we can just Emperor of Bones it back. There's a Flicker Wisp, too. But this turn, we're going to go Marsh Flats. We're going to go exile this Witch Enchanter, and then put it into play. Gonna blow up the Talisman. We're gonna kill Karn, attack them for 4, and flicker the Witch Enchanter, just so we get to keep it around. And we'll come back, get another counter. Have 10 power in play. And next turn we could just Flicker Wisp both their Ugin's Labyrinths away. But yeah, it's another nice game 1 win. That's 4 game 1 wins against Eldrazi with this deck, which is kind of unbelievable. I mean, I added the 4th Thoughtseize, so I'm really liking that. And yeah, we'll bring in our 9 cards. Do we want the March? I think we probably do want the March. Just because it kills, like, Karn targets. Maybe the Pending, too. Let's go down Solitude, 1. I think 1 Emperor of Bones. I don't love the Ephemerates. And we'll take out the pushes. And... could be a Felia, could be another Emperor. I think it's another Emperor. Yeah, let's do that. I don't know, slowly learning exactly how to board in this matchup. Opponent playing first. I will keep this as well. It's not perfect by any means, but it has some tools. Thoughtseize is very good against them. At least I've been liking it. They do have a Devourer. So maybe that means we just Relic on turn 1? I guess we'll see what their turn 1 play is. If it's something disgusting, then we'll probably Thoughtseize them. Not incredibly disgusting. Let's Surveil. Try and take their next big play. There's a Talisman. Okay. We'll get Shadowy Backstreet. Let's get rid of a Relic. We don't want that now. Find another Marsh Flats. We'll Thoughtseize them. See a whole bunch of stuff. Gonna take the Kozilek's Command, and then they have just a bunch of big guys. And we'll be able to blink this Ugin's Labyrinth. And then blow up the Talisman. I mean, we'll see if we even get to blink the Ugin's Labyrinth. I guess we can force them to put it back in hand, which is pretty good. They top deck Writhing Chrysalis, though. Alright, so they'll have 6, 7 mana next turn no matter what. So I guess we just... I don't know. What do we want to do? Maybe just trawler them, and then we can maybe get some value out of the Flicker Wisp later. Let's just exile their graveyard. Pass. Not feeling great about this one. Got pretty flooded, though. Plus they top decked the Chrysalis right on time. 5, 6, 7, and they're holding up that Ugin's Labyrinth. It's like they're trying to bait me into something. Or maybe they're gonna cast the World Breaker? I think that makes more sense. That is what they're gonna do. Okay. So I need a Ketramose. Okay. My land gets exiled. They get in. No blocks from me. Find another Marsh Flats. Not ideal. So let's Flicker Wisp. Oops. I don't know why I did that. I totally meant to do it on the Chrysalis, but I guess it might have actually been better to just do it on my Shadowy Backstreets. And I need to find Ketramose next turn. Is this a Myco spawn? All right, let's go to game number 3. So flooded out pretty heavily. Opponent drew all the right stuff at all the right times, but that happens. Let's go to game number 3 on the play, and hopefully do a bit better this time. Is this a keep? I think so, with the Surveil. Belia's pretty good to get down early, too. Maybe we can just get the beatdowns on. They have a slower hand. Maybe we can get some value off this Flicker Wisp. They have Devourer. Again. I guess I'm keeping a Plains and passing. They get rid of some mana sources. Ugin's Labyrinth is terrifying, as is Talisman. Okay. Well, let's pass. Let's see what they do. Sowing Mycospawn. Sure. So we'll play out Felia and I guess just Solitude that thing now. Find Ketramose. But this turn, it's going to be best to... So we blink out this, then we attack with Felia, blink out Flicker Wisp, and then see if they do anything with it. If they do, we can get rid of it again. Be all right with me. If not, we can do this. Blink that out until their next turn. And Ketramose was a really good draw here. Let's see what they have going on, though. Another Myco spawn? Yeah, okay. Well, I do have quite a bit of value, although they have Aye. They have Kozilek's Command. The best card. Let's see what they do with it. They're drawing, so maybe have to dig to something at least. I find White Orchid Phantom, which at this point doesn't do a ton, although I guess we want to play Relic first, possibly slow down their Emrakul if they have that, and then run out this Phantom. And then next turn, we can start drawing cards with Ketramose. I mean, we couldn't draw any this turn anyway, so I don't think there's a point in doing that. Where did they put their scries, too? I guess it doesn't matter now, because they had to shuffle. They put one top, one bottom, though, so they got the card they wanted. Do they have 10 mana next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. But they could World Breaker or Devourer. Devourer is a lot less scary. This looks like Utopia Sprawl? No. This looks like World Breaker. Or maybe Devourer. One of the two. I think we'd rather them devour me. All is Dust is fine as well. I mean, it's not ideal, but obviously I don't want them to All is Dust me. But I do have Ketramose. So let's make them exile a card. Either way, they'll have 3 types in yard. And then I'll draw, find a Vindicate, which is not awful. Wish I found a land, though, so I could keep going with this Ketramose. See if they have Devourer now. They just find a Writhing Chrysalis. That's fine. They have 1, 2... Oh, do they have... What is this? A World Breaker or Devourer? It's really going to depend which this one is. They have a Writhing Chrysalis in hand. It's Devourer. Unfortunate. Probably can't win anymore. Yeah. That is brutal. Do we just have to Vindicate that now? I think so. Just can't take too much damage, but also probably can't win anymore. Without that Chrysalis in hand, we definitely could, but another big body on the board is going to make it tricky. Here it comes. Let's make them exile a card and just F6 through the turn. They have a Wooded Foothills, sure, and they get me for 3. I find Plains, so I mean, they can only attack with the Chrysalis. Let's blow up that one. And it looks like they're out of basics. Let's blow up an Ugin's Lab as well. Pass the turn. We can double block the Myco spawn. So that thing can't attack us anymore, but now we need to find Ketramose. I guess Felia would be all right. I really just have to take this too for now, though, I think. Did they put a card on top? They did put a card on top, so that's probably unbeatable. I think it's Kozilek's Command. And yeah, there's no way I'm beating that, so GG's. No? Just taking 5, okay. And what is this? World Breaker, right? Blowing up my relic. Okay, well, I'll make you exile a card from your yard. And looking for Ketramose. Or I guess That's not going to do it. And we'll put her there. GG's all around. Scoop it up. 3-1 against Eldrazi. 4-3 overall. Not the best record, but we did all right for ourselves. If you enjoyed the black-white content, don't worry, there's more to come. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.